there's no sugarcoating how bad they're going.
They've been a bit meek.
They are lost and in no man's land.
They're in a big hole.
I'm hurting as a coach. You know, as a coach, I'm hurting for where we sit at 0 and 3. Our players are hurting. Our staff are hurting. And I know our supporters are hurting.
It's not the start that was promised for Melbourne in season 2019, but it's the reality that they face. Jordan Lewis, welcome.
Thanks, Big G.
Jack Riewoldt, hello.
Jerry, how are you?
Very good, righto. Did you circle up? Was there the truth serum on Sunday?
Oh, it was a review. I came in today, I hadn't read the paper, and Robbo was telling me about the article in today's paper. It was the way the review was structured, I suppose. But I suppose when you're 0 and 3, the review's not really going to go nice. So, we had to review the game as it sat, and it was really, really honest, which all reviews are, whether it be good or bad. And that was on Sunday, and so I think it was a really good day, Sunday and Monday, and certainly the players now understand that if we are to move forward, you cannot just do it by yourself. You have to do it with your teammates and buy into the team and understand defence and offence. You have to work as a team, and that's what we've got to do this weekend.
I thought they would have discussed that last week after the previous week's performance.
Yeah, I think there was certain things that were probably trending, I suppose, if you look at the first 3 games. And sometimes I think you want to see more of a sample size. So one week you maybe see a trend that you're not quite sure of, and you think maybe it'll get rectified next week. And then once it sort of happens again and again, you go, OK, well, now's the time to really try and stamp it out and understand that players, when you're not going so well, players try and do everything they possibly can to help the team. And then some players have just got to understand that you can't do it by yourself and you need everyone else to help.
The commentary by Ruse, Lyon, Darcy, and whoever else was in that package, for an older bloke like you, I would imagine it's water off a duck's back. For younger players looking and listening to these people talk, can that have an effect on their mental side or not?
I don't know. I think the beauty about football clubs is those people that you said then comment on what they see. That's what they see. And you can't argue with that. The beauty about football clubs is we have a full dissect of the games. So it's not as if we get in on a Sunday and the coaches sort of shelve the stuff that isn't good. They get shown, all players get shown that stuff. So it's reality. I mean, if you play well and you buy into it defensively and offensively, that stuff doesn't get said. So I don't think if players, I suppose, aren't honest with themselves, that may hurt them. But players, and especially players at the club right now, understand what's required.
So how vital, how constructive are these sessions actually in rectifying what's amiss?
Oh, I think it's a huge step forward, and it feels like, from a playing point of view, the club's at ground zero. It feels like it's just been really hard and unpredictable. But the environment at the club is certainly not that way. So it's still a really good club to come to, and that's a credit to the coaching staff. But we've also got to understand that our performance is what will drive our culture forward and the feeling around the club forward. So we need to improve that dramatically. We're not playing nowhere near our best football, and we've got a lot of players that are out of form. So we need to turn that around quickly, and that was part of what Sunday was about.
Are you any chance of playing?
Not this week. This week, certainly next week. It's always hard watching from the sidelines, as you would have seen on the weekend. You can understand what a coach feels like. You just feel helpless sometimes, and that was certainly the case on the weekend. But
when you first did it, it was like, it's not too bad, it's okay. And now it's 4 games.
4 games. Oh, it was sort of always. It was always going to be because it was tendon.
So he lied to us early on.
Tendon based.
He lied.
I think if Hodgie went back to the archives and found the tape, I said we've been 3 to 4.
You sat here last week and warned, beware the wounded tiger.
Yep.
They looked like the wounded tigers on Saturday. What was your take?
we were leading at quarter time. We started pretty well. We probably just ran out of petrol a little bit. Well, we did run out of petrol. We were a man down early on with Jaden Short obviously dislocating his elbow. Trent Cotchin does a hamstring. We probably just ran out of petrol. We played okay. Scoring shots were pretty similar. With about 8 minutes to go, I think we were even in scoring shots.
A little bit denial. To be honest, Jack, it looked like more than just running out of...
No, it's the way you
tickets.
see it, Robbo, but the way we've reviewed it is that we know that we're doing a lot of things right. We just, at the moment, our polish probably just isn't there.
Why did...
That's what I was going to say. I didn't think the polish wasn't there, not running out of tickets. And defensively, Jezza Cameron has 30 and kicks 7. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen against Tigers. It hasn't happened for many, many years. So you might say they run out of tickets, but mechanically things aren't going great. And you've got a lot of players out of form.
Yeah, we've also probably got some of our key players out, which makes it tricky. We're bringing in some new guys, so it's not going to, you're not going to bring them in straight away and it's going to be like bang, it works perfectly. We obviously had Sydney Stack debut on the weekend, which was a real highlight for us. Yep. But we've had some guys that haven't played footy together, and it's probably been the strength of our group is that if you look at our backline numbers, Grimes, Rance, Asprey, Vlosten, Hooley are our real mainstays.
You got 4 out of 6 out of the back 6.
And they're out at the moment, so they're being replaced with other players, and the gel and the connection just isn't quite there at the moment. We know it'll come, but it takes a little bit of time.
So what did you like from the weekend? It blew out to whatever it was, 40-odd points or whatever. What did you like that you can take away from the performance on the weekend?
Look, we've been really focused on our defensive attitude. We were really poor against Collingwood, gave up 150 marks, and however many of those were uncontested, which is unacceptable. So we rectified that on the weekend. We took some steps forward there. Some guys started to find a little bit of form again. We know that we still got beaten, which was disappointing, but our effort was there, and that's all you can ask.
What's the leader's attitude to the Dustin Martin meltdown?
Look, it's disappointing. Clearly, I've mentioned that some of our more senior players are out at the moment, and he fits into the next mould of player that we need. He was frustrated, clearly frustrated on the game. You only had to watch the coverage to understand that he was frustrated there. But it's disappointing for us that he's not going to be out there this weekend. And for Dustin, it's obviously a learning curve on how to. He gets tagged most weeks, I would have thought, but sometimes the niggle.
This doesn't happen every week from Dustin. Not from Dustin.
No, you're right. And it's got to the point where I think he probably got tagged against Carlton, Collingwood, and now the Giants, and pretty well held and tagged tightly. So what will happen is, and what people will think from the outside is, oh, well, Dusty has to learn how to deal with this. We probably have to learn as a group how to deal with it more than Dusty individually. He's not playing an individual sport out there. He's playing a team sport. So the onus probably goes on to the rest of the players to help him.
Yep.
He didn't want to talk post
He's a
tribunal.
man of very few words.
So he'd say he was happy with the hearing. And
my understanding is that the words, what Dusty and his gesturing was directed at Shane Munford. My understanding is that he called it abuse, Munford, in a post-match interview, but said he actually didn't get into Martin in a personal matter. Now, this is a big question, Jack. Whether you want to answer it or not is completely up to you. Do you know what was said?
I've got no idea what was said.
To Dustin Martin? Do you care if anything was said to him?
Oh, it's history. There's no point backing the truck up over it. Obviously, clearly Dusty served his time, and the AFL have reviewed what was seen on TV. But
did you hear Barmy leaving tonight? Upstairs with...
No, I didn't actually. What did he say?
What did he say, Jerry?
Not a lot.
No, at the end he said...
At
the end he was asked about what was said to it. And he says, that's with the AFL or something, which I thought, that's interesting. But my understanding is that the Giants are saying that he didn't abuse him personally.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's... I don't know from anything, so I can't really comment on it, but I would doubt that there was anything said from that perspective. I think sometimes, and it can be a bit of a cheap answer, there's stuff said on the footy field that it just gets by the way. It's unfortunately, in the heat of battle, things are said, and I really doubt that there was something said in that manner.
So is it a period to grimly hold it together? Look, tell me this. Have you tried to play this week?
I've floated the idea, but I think, I won't play this week. I've got my sights set on playing the following week there. The thing with that is that we have a short turnaround from the Sydney game in a fortnight's time into Anzac Day Eve, which is 4 days. So there is a little element of risk there. Today I've sort of felt like I ran pretty well, but I think there's a smart approach to take this injury as well.
So that suggests that you feel the sense of urgency and you feel the sense of responsibility in leadership right now.
Well, of course I do. My side's, we're not performing the way we want to play. We're down our All-Australian centre-half back, who is a vice-captain of the football club. Our captain of the football club is a hamstring injury. Of course I want to get out there and lead my team and help my teammates out. You wouldn't be an AFL player if you weren't going, look, I just want to get out there. And look, Rancy 100% is in the same mould as me, but he's obviously got a long-term injury. He's chomping at the bit to help in any way possible. So for me, I'm just doing everything possible I can to get back out there and help the guys out.
It's the first time we've really grilled you in a couple of years, actually. Hope you're not feeling uncomfortable, so we're going to change the subject.
Both helpless.
What do you think of the current sliding contact below the knee? Do you think it's okay? It's great, it's what's needed. Unfortunately, the fans have to put up with it, or you don't like it at all?
I think it's been over-officiated, certainly. I think there's been... it's been well documented. I think it's hard to adjudicate. It's hard to stand back and make a split-second decision on whether that was forceful or not. And from an umpire's view, if you see a player go to ground, then a player comes over the top and falls to ground, well, for me, that says it's forceful. Now, we have the benefit of replay and seeing how forceful it was, and when you slow it down, it doesn't look that bad. But in real time, that would have looked like that's forceful contact.
Are players
below the knees?
Yeah, are players milking?
Well, certainly that looked like he was milking.
It does look like that.
For sure, yeah.
It does, but can you put yourself in that... I think it was Jamie Cripps, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Put yourself in Cripps' shoes. He's going down. He goes over the top. Is he thinking that he got contact, or was it an instinctive thing to lift your legs because someone's coming at your knees?
Yeah, I think instinctively that last split second, if you're in that position, you would think that potentially you could go to ground and then draw a free kick.
Agree with that,
It just doesn't sit well with me. It's against the ethos of the game is to go and get the ball. And I understand there's other rules that like pushing the back and whatnot, which prevent you from doing it illegally. But this one just, it really doesn't sit well with me, just the fact that if someone is willing to go down and grab the ball and put themselves in a position where they could get hit in the head, but their main objective is to go and pick the ball up, I cannot see how you can penalise them.
What do you want me to do?
We want Rhett Bartlett has
the tissues
updated
were there for some reason.
This is for Jack rather than... Don't know, that's for Jack.
I don't think I need that.
So,
Hawthorns is much bigger than that.
The Tigers.
He played for Melbourne, mate.
Richmond FC, a proud history of a great club. So Rhett Bartlett has revised this, he's updated it.
You want to sign it?
Spin it around.
Is he supposed to sign it?
And that's for you to have a read of, and you can do a book report in the coming weeks.
How
Takes in the new glory days.
How good are the old jumpers?
He'll go straight to the back and look at index and says, where's Jack Riewoldt?
Another Tiger about to join us. Good luck to both Melbourne and Richmond's and your endeavours. See you next week. Brendan Goddard is the special guest open mic tonight. It's immediately following 360, and Katie Brennan is
Page 270 if you wanted to know.